The Maryland Masterclass Series provides yet another opportunity through the Fine Arts Office at the Maryland State Department of Education for arts educators, teaching artists, and arts integration classroom teachers to come and experience the power of the creative process. We invite a legendary artist in music, dance, theater, visual art, or media art to come and work with arts educators here in Maryland to guide them through the creative process, paying special attention to the uniqueness of their own processes. And in the end, we present a piece or an exhibition that is purely devised during this time. So this year, we invited Cleo Parker Robinson.
Black dance, or what we call black dance, was very important to me because I started the company out of the late 60s and in the 70s. And that was a wonderful movement in our country. It was the Black arts movement. And it really was coupled with everything that was going on, from tragedies to triumphs, with Dr. King being assassinated, then Malcolm X, the whole Black Panther movement, SNCC, CORE, NAACP. These were all the experiences that were happening, but understanding that dance spoke to me in a way that was visceral and was mind, body, spirit, and emotion.
It was great learning from her, as a student, but then also just trying to pick up different gems from her that, as teachers, we can carry on, whether it's in the studio, the office, or whatever. And I felt like she had a lot of those moments where, her example.
But imagine holding each other's hands. When you're opening, you're grabbing each other's hands, and they can't do it yet, but that's what you're doing, really holding on to each other. See, that's that space of, I can't get through this by myself. I can't get through this alone, and being okay with that and going, I find you, okay.
She kept bringing it back to, who are you in this moment? And you can only be who you are. You can't be anyone else. You have to just honor, where you are in time, in space, and move forward from there.
To tell our stories from our own perspective is very, very important, but we don't see that in our education system. So I think that it's really important that we understand what we're teaching our children, but what we're not teaching them. And we come from that rich experience.
Cleo Parker Robinson almost made me realize that there are things that I'm teaching that I'm used to just doing in the studio. Like when she talked about texture and teaching texture of music through your words. So I'm almost noticing more so now how I'm using my words, how I'm counting, and just how every single, thing that we do in the studio can be dug deeper into to really become a learning opportunity.
She said something to the effect of, a lot of dancers wait for the applause. Don't wait. And I was like, wow, yeah. And that goes for teaching too. As teachers, we hope for validation from our administration. We hope for validation from our parents, families that experience our programs. And that really set with me that, yes, I'm a teacher. I have trained for this. I know what's right for my students. Don't wait.
She allowed us to have our own voice when we were choosing words and dynamics that spoke to us and that helped us to create in our improvisations. So one of the things that I endeavor to do in my classroom is to allow my students a chance to show me who they are without any judgment calls, and to look at their way of moving and how they define their aesthetic, and to embrace it and celebrate it and nurture it.
It was so good to finally be back in the class and be a part of just a community of artists, because it hasn't been there at least for me, it hasn't been there for so long. And so when the opportunity came, I was just, yes, You're on the fence about it, feel yourself, take it all in, and then you're able to give that.
I think that artists think that we're second, but we're right at the top. We are essential workers, like Leo said in the workshop. And I think that that's what we have to realize and stand in, and know that we are changing you all are changing children's lives through art. It's so important, it's so significant. Just allowing children to feel and have that moment to touch their have their feelings and embrace it and know how to move the energy, frustration, anger, joy, and move it and take it out to the world is so important. So continue, please.
I would love for you to dig deeper into the movement and for you to choose a place in the movement that, because you're moving, and you'll remember this time. The students will remember this time. This is a time that will not be forgotten. And I hope there's some really extraordinary things that you remember that come out of this time that you know you affected, because you affected us, and we thank you. We're grateful. Say Ashe. Thank you.
Ashe.
And we'll see you again very soon.